In the last 2 episodes, we met Solomonov, provably optimal and provably out of reach. Underneath its magic sits one modest piece of machinery, and this whole episode is about that machinery. It is Bayes' theorem, but read in an unusual way, as a prediction engine. Here is the theorem in plain words. You begin with a prior, your belief in each hypothesis before any data arrives. You multiply it by the likelihood, how well that hypothesis expected the data you actually saw. Then you renormalize, and out comes the posterior, your updated belief. Prior times likelihood, normalized, gives the posterior.
That is just belief updating though. Where does prediction come into it?
Look closely at what each piece is really doing. The likelihood is itself a prediction. Every hypothesis, before the next symbol lands, commits to how probable each possibility is. When the true symbol shows up, the hypotheses that expected it are rewarded, and the ones that were caught off guard are penalized. The posterior is nothing more than your old belief, tilted toward whichever hypotheses kept predicting well. So an update is really a scorekeeping step. Reward foresight, punish surprise, and carry the new scores forward. Now turn the crank one more notch. Once you hold a posterior over the hypotheses, you can ask the only question we care about. What is the next symbol? Each hypothesis offers its own forecast. You take all of those forecasts and blend them, weighting each one by how much posterior belief it currently holds. That blend has a name, the posterior predictive distribution. And it is the actual prediction the framework hands you. Belief in, forecast out. Which raises the obvious question, why blend them at all instead of just trusting the leader? The instinct, when you have many models, is to hold a contest. Score each candidate on the data so far, crown the single best one, and make every prediction with that winner alone. This is model selection. And it is how most of statistics was taught for a century. Pick by cross-validation, by an information criterion, by whatever tournament you like, then throw the losers away. It feels responsible, even rigorous. You gathered the evidence, you judged the contestants, you committed to the strongest one. What could be wrong with that?
And what is wrong with that? Backing the best model sounds sensible.
It sounds sensible, and it quietly throws information away. Suppose 2 models are nearly tied, one just barely ahead. Selection bets everything on the leader and ignores a runner-up that was almost as good and might well be the right one. Worse, it hides your uncertainty. By committing to a single model, you speak with a confidence the data has not earned, and when the leader is wrong, you are simply wrong along with it. The Bayesian move is to refuse the contest. Do not pick. Keep every hypothesis on the board, let each one cast a vote on the next symbol, and weight its vote by how much belief it has earned. Average those votes, and that weighted average is your prediction. There is no selection step, because there is no winner to crown. The mixture is the predictor. A strong model pulls the blend hard toward its own forecast. A discredited one still gets to speak, but only in a whisper. And notice the quiet bonus you get for free. When the models mostly agree, the blend is confident. When they scatter, the blend spreads out on its own, and your prediction becomes honestly uncertain without you having to arrange it. So how do those weights actually move? One symbol at a time. Picture a row of hypotheses, each with a bar showing how much belief it holds. Together, the bars always add up to 1. Now the next symbol arrives. Every hypothesis had staked a probability on it. The ones that gave it high probability swell. The ones that were surprised shrink, and then the whole row is renormalized so the bars sum to 1 again. Watch it happen. Symbol after symbol, belief drains away from the models that keep getting caught out and flows toward the models that keep getting it right. Nothing is ever thrown away, but the weight quietly migrates.
How quickly does the good model take over? Does this drag on forever?
Faster than you would guess. The migration is exponential. Here is why. Every step multiplies each hypothesis's weight by the probability it assigned to the symbol that actually occurred. Multiply many such factors together, and a model that is consistently a little better than its rivals pulls ahead by an amount that compounds, step after step after step. Recall from episode 1 that the cost of a prediction is the negative logarithm of the probability it gave to the truth. Summed over the whole stream, that is total surprise, and the mixture automatically shifts its weight toward whichever model has piled up the least. Good foresight is not merely rewarded, it is compounded. And this is why model averaging costs you almost nothing in the long run. Early on, while you are unsure, the mixture hedges across the candidates and stays cautious. As the evidence piles up, the weight collapses onto the truest model on its own, and the blend quietly becomes that model. The framework finds the best explanation without ever being told to go looking for one. Now the payoff, and it is the reason this episode sits at the center of the series. Almost every method we will study is this one framework, wearing different clothes. Fix the skeleton in your mind. A space of hypotheses, a prior over that space, and a mixture that keeps reweighting by predictive success. Change only two things: the prior you start from and the price you are willing to pay to compute the mixture. And out fall the methods this whole series is built around.
So the famous methods are all the same machine, just with a different prior.
Exactly that, take 3 of them. Solomonoff from the last episode spreads its prior over every possible program, weighting each by simplicity, and pays for it with the harshest bill of all. The mixture cannot be computed. Context tree weighting, which arrives in 2 episodes, places its prior over tree structures instead, and buys something remarkable, the very same style of averaging, but computed cheaply and in full. And a neural language model carries its prior implicitly, folded into the shape of the network and the way it is trained, trading away every guarantee for sheer flexibility. Line them up and the differences stop looking like accidents and start looking like choices. Solomonoff, context tree weighting, a neural net. The same skeleton, 3 different priors, 3 different bargains over what you can afford to compute. One takes the widest hypothesis space imaginable and cannot run. One takes a narrower space and runs exactly. One takes an unstated space and runs at enormous scale. One framework, many priors, many tractability bargains. The machinery underneath never changes, only the prior and the price do. Step back and notice what this framework does not give you. The mixture, the updating, the exponential migration of weight, all of it runs on rails once the prior is fixed. But the prior itself, the space of hypotheses and the belief you assign before any data, is a choice the framework cannot make for you. This is the same hole we ran into in the last episode. Bayes tells you how to update. It never tells you where to start.
If every method shares the same machinery, then the prior is the only thing that truly differs between them.
You have just put your finger on the whole point. The updating is universal. The prior is where the methods part ways, and so the prior is where the intelligence lives. A good prior stakes its belief on the regularities the world really has and needs very little data to lock on. A bad prior can be perfectly consistent and still learn almost nothing. Choosing the space of hypotheses and how to spread belief across it is not the preamble to the problem. It is the problem. So the rest of this series is really a tour of priors. Each method we meet is a different wager about what kind of structure a sequence is likely to have, and how much you are willing to spend to place that bet. Next time we start at the humblest, most practical end of the spectrum. Forget every program and every tree, just count. Look back a few symbols, tally how often each thing followed that context before, and predict straight from the tallies. It is the simplest prior that actually works, and its troubles will teach us exactly what the fancier methods are for. That is the model statisticians call the n-gram, and it is where we go next.